for joining us for another session where owners share experiences. And today we are thrilled to present to you the second half of Carmine and Adrianne White's interview. I'm looking at this shockingly because suddenly I didn't realize that I made Adrianne small and Carmine big. No offense there, Adrianne.
No, no.
You know how that goes. Good things come in small packages.
Yes.
So, Adrianne and Carmine, I am hoping that everyone watched their interview on Monday's run in the newsletter, which was taken 2¼ years ago, where they had gone from 25 to 75 in 9 months. So we interviewed them, and they just did such a fabulous job. Well, last week I got this amazing little email, what a great way to start the day, from these two saying that they just wanted to catch up and let me know how they're doing 2¼ years later, and they have another baby and 220 repeat clients. I'm just in awe of this. They're going to hit $1 million this year. So without me talking anymore, I want to go over their statistics so you see where they came from, and then we'll turn it over to Adrianne and Carmine. Adrianne started this part-time in May 11th. That's why she was the little ones, because she was part-time. Then she was joined by Carmine in January of 2012, I believe, when she had 25 repeat clients. They were using part-time cleaners, mostly using a solo model, some teams, and they were paying hourly and by the job. So when I featured them in December 12th, but actually when they came to me, they were at about 65 clients, maybe 67 really, but they were using all part-time people. So they had there's now like 13 part-time people before they came to me and started getting my advice. So when we did the last interview, they had already gone to full-time. So they were at 75 repeat clients, 6 full-time cleaners, 2 were part-time. They had just changed from 2 teams of 3 to 3 teams of 2 because they were getting ready for growth. They always add 2 to 3, or make a 2-person team into a 3-person team. They were paying hourly, including travel time. They had added company vehicles. And if you saw their interview on Monday, they had 1.5 babies. So now we have Adrianne and Carmine today, and I'm going to let them talk about you today.
Yeah, since back in 2012 when we did the last webinar, it's just been a huge amount of growth for us. You know, we set a really good process for, you know, trying to capture the new clients that we have come in and convert them to regular clients. And we implemented the wall board that we put up, just like you recommend, and it's been a really good visual for every single person. When they walk in the door, they see exactly, you know, the good and bad of when we lose clients and when we gain clients. And so right now we're currently at 221 clients actually as of today. And one of our challenges right now is just that we should be at like 15 to 18 full-time people, and right now we're at about 12 to 13 full-time people, and so we've just been understaffed, and it's been something that we've been working really hard on turning around here. But right now we currently max out 4 teams of 3, and we run 5 teams as much as we possibly can. And during the summer last year, we were running 6 teams, and we were fully staffed up, and everything was good. And you know, last summer we ended up raising our rates from $37.50 an hour to $45 an hour. And so, you know, our growth went a little bit slower, but it's a lot more profitable growth now. And we just ended up raising our hourly rate wage for our employees across the board, 75 cents an hour. So we pay $10.75 per hour now. And our leads start at $12.75. So, and we've had a process with our company that everything, and we tell every single employee, and it's a mantra at our company, everything is 100% merit-based. So nobody gets raises based on how long they've been with the company. Nobody gets promotions based on how long they've been with us. It's purely about how good they are, and if the clients like them, you know, if they're good and the clients like them and they speak English, they have a chance of becoming the lead, you know. So and basically we have team lead meetings every week, and where we discuss all the issues and who's up for possibly being a sub lead, you know, who can work into being a lead.
We use like a 3-step process to promote for that. We have the lead, then you have a sub lead, and then I also implemented a trial lead. So somebody that's performing really well, we give them as a trial that they can be a lead with somebody with lots of experience. They can try and be a lead. And then I go and check their jobs after I've done their walkthrough, and then we check their numbers because everything here is about the numbers, and so we track their numbers, and if the numbers are really good, then they get to be promoted to a sub-lead. And then when a full position is available, then that sub-lead gets promoted to be a lead. So it's a 3-step process. That way you avoid anybody ever getting demotions when they can't actually handle the job that they've been promoted to, which I like that process.
Yeah. And right now we're at, we have 6 company vehicles that we have like a part-time on-staff mechanic to handle all the maintenance for the vehicles, which is way more cost-effective than using like a mechanic shop. We've made a lot of changes. We have really good dispatching software and CRM software that handles all our billing, and all the teams have company cell phones that they clock in and out on the jobs on. So there's a lot of processes we put in place in the last couple of years that have made this automatic. I mean, we feel like it's very scalable. We could see ourselves getting to 400 and 500 clients here in the next couple of years. As long as we can keep the staff, focused on the staffing thing. One last thing too, I think I mentioned on another slide, but we've been averaging about 10 net new clients per month. So it seems like we average between 15 and 17 new clients who sign on recurring, and then we maybe lose 5 to 6 clients depending on, for different reasons, moving, can't afford it, that kind of thing. Sometimes we do it for like inconsistent scheduling, or every once in a while we get something negative, but that's basically our trend.
Okay, so I'm going to act like your audience. I have a few questions for you here. First of all is you raised your prices from $37.50 to $45 an hour. I'm sure my audience is wondering whether or not that was for your current clients as well, or for just new clients coming in the door. And if it was for current clients, the second part of that question would be, how did that impact your current clients? Did you lose a lot?
Yeah, so we did not raise it on our current clients. We're actually paranoid about raising our prices and then losing like 50% of our business. So we back in last summer, I think around July, we said, okay, all new clients, $45 an hour. We raised the cost of our move-outs also by like $50 per job. And so
and it was also to test it, to see if we had a good price point, or if we were going to lose our conversion from phone calls to clients. And so we realized we really did not price ourselves out of the industry at all.
Yeah, we really didn't see hardly any drop-off on new people signing up for regular, or we do see people, we do get a lot more on phone calls. Oh, you guys are pretty expensive, and then move on. But we're still at a really high close ratio. I think we calculate we're at about like 75% close ratio for people who call in. So
we have really good reviews, and so they're already pre-sold when they call us. And so the majority of everybody has seen our reviews by the time they actually call us. So when they do hear the price, they understand, well, okay, they have this reputation, though, so you're paying more for the reputation as well.
Plus, we're fairly competitive with some of the bigger companies out here, like Molly Maids and some of the bigger franchise companies. So it's like we should be right about that price point. We feel like
we offer more to our customers than the people that are charging the same amount we do.
Okay.
And we haven't rolled out those price increases, which we were planning on doing at the beginning of the year, and it's just kind of got away from us. We probably will here in the next month or two, but starting to phase in our clients, probably starting with monthly clients of sending out letters and on price raises, and then going to our biweeklies and then weeklies, and then there's probably. Yeah.
After we hang up, I want to talk to you about this price increase thing. I have a way that you can do it and not lose a lot. Okay?
Okay.
So my next question is, when you do the sub-leads, the team situation where you have sub-leads, are your people excited about this? Do they see it as a promotion, or do they see you as desperate owners who need supervisors and this is what you're doing? I mean,
no,
it's a very blatant question, but do they buy into it? Are they engaged?
100%, because there's people here with massive seniority that are not, that I have allowed to be trial leads, and they did not qualify. So when they actually get called up to the bat, they really are excited, and they are really excited to perform and get that good reviews from us and be able to do it again. So no, they're actually very, it's very motivating.
Yeah, the way it's, they get bonused per, instead of like when they are sub leads, they get bonus $2 an hour for every day that they're sub leading. Or sometimes we'll have two people split the $2 an hour, so they actually get bonuses while they're going through that process. But we make it so that it's not easy to get, so it's kind of like a reward, and people know, oh, hey, you're the new lead. You know what I mean? It's been a good morale type thing.
Which I love. Now, on the flip side, let me ask you this. If somebody has been with you for a long time, like you said, and they try this position and don't get it, does that cost you cleaners?
Nope. I work with them, and they see, and I always tell them, don't let me take it from you. Earn it. And once it's yours, and I help them to earn it. I give them my specific time. I will break down, okay, you're having a problem here and here and here, so I work with them on those, and then at those lead meetings, all the leads step up and help them in those weaknesses. Now, in times when they have failed, and they fully understand that it is my fault that I am no longer qualifying to be a sub-lead. And the one that we're going through now, we put her back with the leads, and I put her back out in the field as a general cleaner, and she fully understood it was because she did poor service. And then all the leads stood up and said, we're going to help her, we're going to do it, and she is now a trial sub-lead again. So it is not, we've never lost one.
No, we've lost a few people back kind of when we first started. But it was back before we were doing this, and we were just promoting to team lead and saying, okay, you're the new lead, and then they did terrible, and we're like, oh, that's not going to work, you can't be lead anymore, and then they quit because they were embarrassed. So that's why we started this process.
It works so well. Everybody is excited. It builds morale. The process that we have right now, I love. And our employees, I have demoted in the past, and that's why we changed to doing it this way.
Interesting. It's an interesting concept. It is. Then my last question is on the CRM software. Can you tell us what that stands for? CRM.
CRM is like customer relation management. It's basically, so we use a software called Service Autopilot, and
okay.
Yeah, Service Autopilot, and basically, but it does all the dispatching. It has a map on, it pulls up a map where it shows the addresses as pins on a map, so we can group our customers for more efficient routing, and it captures all the notes and calls and emails and everything. So it's been a game changer.
And it's easy for the employees to use out in the field on the phones that we provide them, so that they see their schedule on the cell phones, and they just hit, okay, this is my next client, click, and now it takes the GPS, it takes them all the way there. When they get there, they hit clock in, and when they leave, they clock out, and so it keeps track on time, everything.
Okay, and that's Service Autopilot. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to move along because we have lots more questions for you all, and I am going to cover another thing when we get over to marketing that a couple people who knew I was interviewing you had questions about, so we need to get to that. So your three major challenges in 2012 were high internal client attrition rate when we started working together, because you had 13 part-time people for 60 clients. Now you have 13 full-time for 220 clients, so that's an amazing thing to look at. And what your internal clients felt like, your employees, was they didn't like their jobs, they didn't like changing jobs, they wanted to keep their own, they didn't like driving cars, they just weren't happy, they were whining and not getting along. Then externally, you also had a high attrition rate because of inconsistent cleaners, different faces all the time, inconsistent quality, and you were never on time. And you felt the plan wasn't scalable. I mean, I remember anybody who watched on Monday, Adrianne was almost in tears, going, I don't know what I would have done if I would have had to do this any longer. So it was actually pretty cute. Now she's smiling, looks pretty relaxed, like, are we almost done with this stupid thing? Back to what I like to do. So let's talk about what happened today. How is your internal client attrition rate today? Apparently you're saying it's low, Adrianne, but what you can't do is find enough of them. Is that right?
That's the problem. You know, back in the past, when we used to advertise on Craigslist, we get 60+ responses where, you know, we could just go through and pick the cream of the responses and interview them and hire them, and, you know, it was really easy. And now, you know, there's probably a few changes with the industry and the economy that make it different, but now we get, you know, 3 or 4 responses, and, you know, 2 of them may not even live in the area. And if we bring them in and hire them, you know, sometimes, like we just had this morning, a girl that we thought was really excited to start, and she just didn't show up for work, you know. And so we find that once we get them in and once they last past a week, then they stay on. But it's a process of, you know, we've really talked about shifting our focus from advertising for new clients, but to bringing in and cultivating and developing employees.
We turn down probably 4 to 5 clients a day, every day, because we're so understaffed. We have clients for 6 crews and we're running 4. So the staffing is our absolute biggest problem. And it's a hard job, and we do expect a lot from our employees, and our employees are happy. We have a lot of happy employees, but finding these employees has been very, very hard for us.
Like last week, we paid out 80 hours of overtime, you know, so it's just,
wow.
Yeah.
Although
yeah,
overtime too, because I didn't think it was all that bad. If I had the people I had, and I mean, it's not that, it is still cost effective. You're still making money even.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if you guys want to clean more houses, have at it. Less company cars, less bodies, I'm all in. But again, like the price increase, I want you to call me when we're done here, because I want to discuss recruiting sources other than just the internet, because it's time to expand your recruiting sources.
Yeah, great.
That would be wonderful.
So, but meanwhile, back to where we're at. So apparently, as far as fixing the internal attrition, you don't have a lot of attrition, like you said, once you get them on board for a week.
Yeah.
It's that starting that second week. If they start that second week, then they're going to stay with us.
Okay, very good, very good. So you're still paying, so is there anything that you can think of that may, other than the things that we listed here, that we really covered in your Monday interview? If folks, if you want to see how they got to this attrition thing, you really need to watch Monday. But is there anything on top of this that you felt was important? Vacation pay accrual, but you started that back then, but now you're actually seeing the fruits of that effort. Do you want to talk about that and its impact a little bit?
So everybody loves the vacation pay. I mean, we've had a couple people since we started. We have one girl going on 2 years now, you know, and we have some of them cash it out, or, you know, some of them take a full week vacation, or like we have a couple people who've banked it up and they're just, you know, maybe saving it for Christmas or something. It's been a really popular thing. But aside from that, you know, we try to do a lot of little nice things. Like we always have coffee and bottled water and oatmeal, and
after long days, we'll have pizza for them. And they see us here and on the job, but they have Carmine bonuses for pretty much anything. So we've been something that's a huge motivator for them is, along with our board that shows our new clients for the month, we also have their name with all the cash bonuses that they're accruing for the month. So we bonus if a client books regular service, that team splits $25. If they put out a flyer and that customer books, that's $25. If it's a whole different group, if we get good reviews, that's $25. So what we do is on the board, when they walk in the morning, they see, oh, we booked a new client and I got bonused for it. So it's a very motivating thing for them when they get to see, oh, wow, I got $100 already for the month.
and it's become kind of like a competition, you know, like, oh, you're already at $65, you know, I only have 35, you know, and so
we had a new girl that got $45 cash bonus in the first 2 weeks of this month. So she was a brand new employee. So when she used to see, I've only been here for a couple of weeks, and I already got a, you know, $50 cash bonus. She was in the lead. So yeah, that's very they like it.
Now, I do want to tell our audience, I should have had this on a PowerPoint, and I apologize, but I'm going to go ahead and put, if you look in the newsletter today, you will also see their wall chart. But are you guys capable of moving your computer for a second?
Yeah.
And
well, the customers.
Chart?
Go ahead.
So
yeah.
that you can see.
I don't know.
I will put it in the
I can't tell how clear that is.
It's, at least they can see it's a large board that has, but yeah, it's not as clear as it's going to be in the newsletter. So everybody read the newsletter and you'll see what they're talking about. And it's working so well for you, and to follow those numbers is good.
Yeah,
okay.
that may not be.
So the wall chart you think is key, and in motivating and keeping your people there. The team thing, I would like to discuss that for 1 minute, even though you mentioned it on Monday that you thought it was great. Is it still great? Do they love the teams? Would you ever go back to solos? And I have to ask you, do you still have equipment left from when you had all those solos, or have you finally used it all up?
We had a couple old vacuums that we switched to different style vacuums, so we still have those up in storage, I guess. But I don't think we really have a whole lot of supplies left over from back then. But I would never switch back. I mean,
they wouldn't do it either. If you have when you change a 3-person crew down to a 2-person crew, they are shocked. They're like, oh my gosh, it's too much work, and they feel, because they adapt very quickly to the team. So whenever we change that on them, they have a hard time with that. They would never do a job alone. They wouldn't be able to do it alone anymore.
Yeah.
Funny. Very good. I feel that way too. I mean, and I'm not going to alone. I mean, give me a break. I mean, that would be the only time I'd ever probably no-show a client. I mean, we'd call them. I would like, we're getting to you tomorrow. I would never. I mean, some of you owners, I'm sure you did, Adrienne. I would never have cleaned a house alone in my entire life.
That's how I started. Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
we used to think it wasn't a big deal to send out for like, you know, like a 6-hour job, one person for 6 hours, you know, which is a long time if you think about it now. But now if we send out 3 people and they're there for 4 hours, everybody's like wiped out at the end of the day. You know, it's funny how quickly you get used to it.
When I made the transition from 2 to 3, I thought my cleaners were going to kill me because they didn't think they were going to make as much money and yada, yada, yada. And just like you, 6 months later, if I tried to send 2 out, they were like, I don't want to work that hard. Are you crazy? We're a hard person. You know, so it just like, and the customers were the same. When I went from 2 to 3, they were like, I'm going to have 3 people running around my house. 6 months later, if you sent out 2, the customer was on the phone going, how long are they going to be here today?
Exactly. That is so true. They're like, yeah, I have to wait here for, you know, an extra hour. Yeah, people love when we go in like a pit crew and we're in and out, you know, in an hour, hour and a half instead of, you know, taking up half the morning.
And boy, that was probably the biggest change that every client, I mean, owner of a cleaning service goes through is, oh, my clients will never take that. And I'm like, yeah, 6 months later, they'll be on the opposite. You know, people are like sheep. They will follow you wherever you got the guts to lead them. I swear that's true. Okay, so your external attrition rate, again, you said now you are averaging 5 to 6 clients. I personally think that's pretty average as long as you're not running heavy quality cancels and you don't feel you are. And then your teams, they're bonus based on new client bookings, and you think that's huge as far as, is this a good time to talk about how you said in the beginning that you track your cleanings very carefully to make sure that anything that can be turned into a repeat sale is turned into a repeat sale? Why don't you talk to people about that? Because I do a whole webinar on the 71% of sales that go out the black hole, of leads that fall down the black hole before they're turned. Talk to us about that.
So as far as, so whenever we get a new first-time client, first off, all the teams know that it's a first-time client, and this is an opportunity for them to get a bonus. So, and everybody keeps that in mind. And we get, when the teams come back in the day, at the end of the day, they say, you know, they'll tell us, yeah, she was really happy. She was going to sign up for regular or something like that. But
and it's not just the cash bonus that they receive. They get to see their name on that board that they converted that customer, even though the customers call us and say, I want biweekly service. Well, we still put their name on it because they were the first ones to service that client. So they get to see, oh, wow, I converted all these customers myself. So they feel a sense of pride when they see that converted customer. So they, too, are invested in it.
So you do try and sell them repeat, though. You don't sell them one time and convert them. If you can sell them repeat, you sell them repeat.
Oh, on the phone? Yeah, absolutely.
A repeat, then does that cleaner still get a bonus even though they weren't converted? So if they're repeat, they get, regardless, they get the bonus.
If somebody, so we don't do contracts with our customers. It's basically, you know, verbal, but we tell our customers we book out a week to two in advance. So, you know, the benefit about signing up for regular is it takes less time and you actually reserve a spot in our calendar. And so if a client says yes, I mean, it's really easy for them to say yes. We don't, since we're not signing them to year-long contracts or anything. So, so it's really easy for them to say yes. If they say yes, we put the name on the board and leave the spot blank. And then when we do our follow-up call the next day, we find out how everything went, you know, and any feedback. And then we fill in the names of the cleaners who were on there. So, you know, it's their the client signed up for regular, but it's their responsibility to keep them.
So yes, we do bonus even if we are the ones that sell it and the customer signs on for that regular service, even without seeing our product, we still bonus them for it.
So they buy into giving really good service the first time in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get bonus if it's a one-time and they convert to repeat?
Yeah, they get bonus for that too. They
get more. It's the same.
It's the same.
It's the same. It is the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then our process is after we, every single day, we go back and call the people that were first-time clients from the day before to first off get their feedback. For two reasons. We can either head off any negative experience, like negative review. If they had something that we missed or something happened, we can take care of it immediately, get somebody out that day or give them a refund before we bill their card or whatever. And then it also gives us the opportunity to get feedback on our teams for, you know, our internal purposes. And then we ask for them, you know, if they want to get on a regular schedule. So we do all that. And then if there's no answer or voicemail, then the day after that, we send them a follow-up email saying, hey, I just left you a voicemail yesterday and wanted to get your feedback on the service and see if you're interested. And then a lot of times we'll get responses from email that they wouldn't be comfortable saying over voicemail, you know, what happens. So that's our process for converting them.
So let's say you call them and they're one time and they were happy, but they don't go repeat. When do you call them again?
We don't have a process
we
for
haven't
that, actually.
started that yet.
They're doing really well because you're not really working that 71% in the
We're turning away so many customers right now that, yeah, that's hasn't been an issue yet.
Let's get over to marketing and where all these people are coming from. So you're saying Yelp, Angie's List, Google, Microsoft Prime, and your website. Speak to these a little bit because, I mean, everybody's out there doing this. Why are you winning the game?
Well, we kind of started off a little bit early when Yelp started getting popular, and we started, you know, when we were smaller, just like making sure we really safeguard our Yelp reviews because Yelp actually, unlike like Angie's List, it actually ranks in Google in search results. And so when somebody does a search for a cleaning company, you know, Yelp reviews sort of end up popping up toward the top as star ratings. So what happens is if you have a bad reputation, you know, and they look for it, when they're doing search for services, they'll see your name, they'll see the reviews, they'll click through and say, oh, these people are terrible, they broke this and damaged that and stole something, and then they never look at you again, you know. So we've really safeguarded our online reputation because that's where everything is going now these days. Everybody searches on their cell phones and on Google, you know, and so that it's been a big point of focus for us.
And that's why our customers call us pre-sold, because they see those reviews, and we work really hard at making sure that our reviews stay positive.
And we've never used like a reputation management company. It's been purely organic, and we don't ask our customers. We kind of encourage, but we don't ask our customers to post reviews. It's just been, we've kind of tried to nurture it like organically, if that makes sense.
Oh, I have two things here. One is, Adrienne, can you move over closer to your darling husband?
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. We got a little shifted there when we looked at the wall chart. Secondly, you safeguard your Yelp reviews, of course. We all safeguard all of our cleanings. I mean, none of us put anybody out there going, okay, this is Yelp. I think this person's going to do a Yelp review. Make sure you do a really good job here. I mean, you don't have a Ouija board. So what do you mean when you say you safeguard your Yelp reviews?
Part of it is pretty much a big thing for us with customer service is pretty much anything. It's kind of like a old school saying, but anything that the customer says is right. I mean, when the customer is upset about something, we bend over backwards to make them happy and fix it, and like give them free cleanings, give them send teams out. Like we'll lose money on a customer to avoid anything negative, which
one bad review will destroy. A bad review really destroys these small companies.
We look at it like one bad review can cost you $10,000 to $40,000 in revenue, over the course of a couple of years.
Because you call them the next day and you'll give it to them free 3 times, you're keeping them from giving you bad reviews on Yelp. That's what.
That and I guess a major focus on quality with our teams and making sure that we're constantly following up with it. We communicate, like almost over communicate with our clients. Like it's so customer centric that it's it's a lot of management on our side, but we try to make it feel like the customer feels like they're the most important person in the world. Okay. And so, quality with the teams, all the teams incentivize, and we try to handhold every new customer as much as possible. And it seems like common sense and what everybody should be doing, but I think a lot of people just don't do that, I guess. I don't know, because it seems like we kind of stand out in our market,
Well, it could be the proactive calling them the next day, and then your philosophy that you don't care what it is, you will buy your way out of it, because you never know which client that you're not buying your way out of might be the nut that's going to go to Yelp and post.
Oh, yeah.
So I too agree that I give it away for free, and I don't give them 50% off the next one, because I'm kind of opposed to that, because they still got to 50% with you for you to prove to them that they can do okay, and if you don't, then they've lost another 50%. So I am also big on free cleanings. I consider that marketing. What can you say? You said the flyers, yes, they do work. Let me ask you this. Are you at least putting them around the homes that you're cleaning, or you're not doing that either?
Flyers?
Yes.
When we were a little bit slower, we did that a lot, and we did get a good amount of customers from that, but we've just been so busy and everybody's been getting so much overtime that we haven't done it in a while. We created our own flyers that have our teams put their, as I said, we've been too busy. We've been way too booked out for our teams to spend time doing flyers. So one thing that we run consistently, no matter how booked out we are, though, is coupon books. So we're in a bunch of little community shoppers. We don't run a Valpak, but something similar to Valpak out here locally, and we just get a lot of business from it, and I'd say probably a good third of our customers who convert to regular have come from those coupon books. So that's really our only offline marketing that we do.
Okay.
The flyers and coupon books.
Interesting. Well, people have certainly asked. So okay. So your current model, you wanted something that was scalable. Do you feel it is scalable, and can you tell us what makes it scalable?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, well, to start with, a big start with us had been the core training, with the videos. It would have been really difficult for us, to make the transition from where we were at to, get into running full-time teams if we didn't have a system, and a structure to start with.
And it was a good starting point because it helped regulate what I was doing and try and teach it to others, having them see. And I also I adapted a lot of what I do in my cleaning, adapted it to what we saw in the videos. And then a lot of the people that we did hire were introduced and got their feet wet while watching those videos. So it was a really nice introduction, and also having the Spanish, because I don't speak Spanish. So having that was really beneficial.
And then the teams, we feel like a lot of the structure we put in place here can be scalable. I mean, we think we could get to, 400 and 500 clients just in our area without ever even expanding into the metro Seattle area, just in our area out here. So
if we continue doing what we're doing, we would be there. So that's without adding other avenues.
Yeah. We have, software. And software has been our biggest thing for us. I mean, we run everything. All the teams have cell phones. All the cars have GPS in them. We use like a CRM and invoicing software for payments. We use, and for dispatching, we created our own internal software that tracks every single little key data point for all of our teams, so we can analyze like which teams are profitable and what made them profitable. Like, for example, we know that about 25% on average of our labor costs are drive time, so if we can so we're evaluating setting up little satellite offices where if we can cut down 5 to 7% on our drive time, that would pay for the entire office and we can expand our footprint, so we've really tried to make this business data driven.
And it's very, even with the teams and how we motivate the teams, is the things that they have in control is going over on time, going over budget on their budgeted hours on the jobs. That's something they have in control. If they call the office in advance and say we need more time, then that gives us time to call the customers. But see, now if they don't, they just go over on time, we keep track of that and we get percentages. And on the back board, it has the winners, who has the least amount of going over budget on their time. So our data is so driven that it helps motivate our employees as well.
Yeah, kind of like a scoreboard on how good they're doing with things that are in their control.
It helps them to be much more efficient. And also I see, okay, you guys are going over time on this, so I know I need to give you my time and see why you're going over on your job. Why is it that you have this percentage here? So it helps us to see how to better manage our employees.
Plus, we also can evaluate our customers. If we know this customer is budgeted for 4 hours, but we're always every single week spending 5 hours, then we call the customer and say, we're consistently going over time that we haven't been billing you for, so we need to either add an extra hour every time or we need to cut back on the items that we do. And so we can, just manage things that are in, like I said, the team's control.
So let me ask you this, and I normally do this at the beginning, and I should have. Is it just the two of you in your office, or do you have other help as well?
We used to. So we, for a lot of different reasons. One, mainly because, Adrianne had just had kids and major surgery and stuff like that. So we had help in the office, and we've gone through 3 office people here, and it seems like consistently about 6 months in, we're running a totally different business than when they were started, and they haven't been up to the task of what we wanted. So a couple months ago, we got rid of, our office people, and we hired a nanny, and we've kind of split Adrianne's time between work and the office, and we've been able to manage it here.
And I only work mornings, and because I have we have our children are small, so they take a lot of our time. So we come into work together every day, and then I'm home in the afternoon with the kids. So it really is, we're able to absorb what we were paying, but between the two of us, we're able to cover all office and training and quality control out in the field.
Well, that's good at 1.5. I do have to say, Carmine, you must be very organized. But
we try.
22 people, but I didn't leave the office at noon. So I have to say, my hat's off to the two of you. But I do believe in my heart, I know it can be done at 2:20 with 2 people because we did.
Yeah.
And it's really a lot of, as soon as you add office people, your bottom line is destroyed.
It's overhead. Yeah, it's, if you figure it's with taxes and everything, if you're looking between $600 and $700 a week, in overhead, like how much new business you'd have to generate to be able to cover that. I mean, you're looking at another almost full crew.
But also it's hard with a young company to entrust your business to somebody, because eventually their own ideas and their own priorities start to taint your business. So what we had seen is, they cared more about the routing than the bottom line. They cared more about the money than the customer service. So that's where we had issues as well, is it really did affect the business itself, because finding that right person that cares about your priorities is very difficult.
Or we had one person who cared more about the employees, making sure that they were on jobs that they wanted to do versus what was in the best interest for the company and the customer, So
let me ask you this. Did you bring them all in from the outside, or were they promoted from within?
Outside.
Well, there's your answer to that magic one. Get somebody ready to be promoted from within, because nobody feels it better than that.
Well, and we also decided no matter what, if we ever did hire another office person, they have to go out in the field, because this is very much the people that we have working for us. You do need to run the office. You need a lot of computer savvy. You have to be very computer savvy, very organized, very specific to run the office. But what we did decide is that if we ever did hire another person to be in the office, that they do have to work out in the field. Because what Carmine understands it, because he and I work together. He knows what it's like to be a housekeeper, so he knows how to treat the customers. He knows how to treat the employees, and so that is having somebody that fully understands the business is important.
And you'll be amazed. You guys keep in mind every time you hire that you're looking for an office manager, and you will find one. I don't think owners keep that in mind. They think cleaning and supervise. You add that next twist, and they really should be bilingual. There's no doubt about
That's true.
The next office manager has to come from the field, because they have to be bilingual. And somebody out there is going to shine and be another Adrianne and Carmine, and you're going to find them, but you've got to always keep that in the back of your mind.
That's true.
Every good office manager I know came from the field. Everybody else is still turning their office managers, you guys.
Really?
I mean that. Until
I could see that.
From the field, you're going to turn them, because you know what? The mentality isn't there. It is easier to turn a cleaner into an admin person than it is to turn an admin person into a cleaner.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm
like
not
that.
here to consult. Okay. So your current model is scalable. How much, you two? How big do you think? I mean, does this model work to 3 million, 5 million, 10 million? What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I think the next hierarchy we're looking at is setting up, maybe another satellite office south and maybe one satellite office a little bit north, where we can manage all the dispatching out of our main location here. And, then the next stage we're looking at is possibly having some of our leads be eligible for like an area manager, where they may be like on a salary and company car and, be responsible for building up their kind of building up and managing their area and subbing in for leads when they're not in. And
we are already working on training for that. So yeah, we're not ready for that yet, but we are already grooming the people to do that so that we can see how it would work. So that it's not going to be a shock.
Yeah. So we're located in a pretty good spot for, we have large geographic area, but it's densely packed out here. There's a lot of population. So, we could, in the next couple of years, I think, get to 400 and 500 clients without even, like I said, going into downtown Seattle, the main Seattle area. We're on the other side of it. So, I mean, there's a lot of potential growth out here, it feels like.
So exciting. So exciting, I have to say. So before we get your other feedback, let me ask you this. I mean, 4 years ago, you weren't making any money. Today, you're making as much money, even if you're doing 15% bottom line, and with both of you in the office, I hope it's a lot stronger than that. I mean, you're making as much money as college graduates who have done 2% top of their class. How do you feel about all this?
Well, it's been stressful lately.
Just with the understaffing. But.
Just being understaffed and overbooked, but it feels good. I mean, we're you know.
The potential is exciting.
Potential's there, yeah.
And yeah, when you look at our bottom line, yeah, what was it, a year and a half or 2 years ago, we had 70-something customers, and now we're at 220. And we turn 5 to 7 down every single day. So the fact is that we have something that people do want, and we have a presence here, which is nice. So yeah, it's very exciting.
We're really excited about the next couple years on where we could be, and you know, have this something that our kids could be part of, you know, as they get older and stuff like that. We're pretty excited.
Perfect. So any final words? We really haven't talked about Business in a Box, which is what these two people started on 4 years ago, and has it been able to grow with you? Do you feel it was the foundation you needed, or do you feel you needed to supplement it with something to get to $1 million?
I mean, with any business, I think, you know, you're going to add on your own tweaks for your market and, you know, like our style. So, you know, we've made tweaks to it, but it was something that if we would have started with it when we were starting our business, we would have approached the business in a totally different mindset than the way we did. You know, when we started the business, it was kind of almost accidental we just got busy. And so we're like, oh, you know, let's hire helpers, and, you know, let's hire more helpers. And then, you know, it just was like not in like a planned way, you know. And then as we started growing, we started looking at it and said, you know, we need to make changes. And that's when we found you. And it
would have been nice to start the business with it right away instead of having to trial and error. So when we first started, it was trial and error, and then we found the new process. When we started working with you, there were so many different things that helped us turn it into a feasible business.
Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you. Thank you. So I know they recommend that other people do this, but the best way to find out how they really feel about it when they're not in front of a camera is to give them a call. And Carmine and Adrianne would love to talk to you, or email them at the email address or give them a call. Thank you both. They have now, as a matter of fact, if you all could send me a picture of the 4 of you, that's what I would love to see.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So now that we have this new family, I talked to a client yesterday who said to me that they couldn't grow very fast because they had a 3-year-old, and I said, didn't you watch Adrianne's interview on Monday? And she said, yes, I did, and now I feel really lousy about this. So, I mean, you two are an example of what can be done, because, Carmine, you took quite a chance leaving money and starting out with a baby and a half and taking that financial risk. It was huge. And now, as I said, you're making a lot of money. I mean, there are a lot of people in America who would love to take home what you two are taking home without degrees. I mean, with degrees, with PhDs, for crying out loud. You two are doing really well. So my hat is off to you. Congratulations, because not everybody who does Business in the Box does as well with it. So I personally thank you for this, because nothing makes me look better than people who can write 220 repeat sales that fast.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you. So we'll see Adrianne and Carmine when they're at 400, which Adrianne claims is going to be in a couple of years. And until then, thank you and goodbye. And thank you
Take care.
for joining us, and we will see you next time when we interview another owner who is willing to